Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nexus Wormhole. I'm your host, Sonic Rascal, and we're here again with a Shadow Master, Deceptor, Intelligence Deceiver, Leche de Mono. How are you today?
The mono's back. The mono is back.
We're back. We're back in action. We're here to stay. We're going to speak about some topics. We're going to blow. If you like Coltrane, sit back down and just take a little glass of wine or a little bit of ginger ale, whatever you're into. That's completely legal. And get ready for the Nexus Wormhole.
Hear it roar. All right, man.
All right. Well, first of all, I like to start out with pretty much the COVID-19, which I call little COVID-19. What are your thoughts about it? We're going into the second month. I don't even know. I can't even count, man. So,
Well, yeah, officially, I guess we're almost going into the fourth month. If we go all the way back to China, all the way back to the beginning, and they apparently they knew they had an idea about this disease, the virus, as early as late December of last year.
No.
Apparently they knew something about it. That's right. Shine them gunners out, boy.
Let me tell you, there's something about wearing all this gear. I get sweaty. I get itchy. We do it all to get the message out there. We're with you guys.
That's right.
So yeah, so from what I understood, and this is leading up to another week, you know, maybe we'll never truly know. Everybody has their idea where this came from, and everybody has an idea or an opinion if it was made or not made. But one thing that I'm into, and one thing that I've researched, and this goes from listening to Elon Musk speaking in the Joe Rogano show, which is straight Rogano, is he pretty much said that he has companies in China, Elon Musk, that make Tesla. Mm-hmm. Everybody's back full swing. Out of his 7,000 employees in China, nobody got it. Let's think about that for a minute.
Wow.
It didn't mean they didn't test positive. Some people, got tested and they were positive with the symptoms. Now, this is where it gets dark. He said, and I paraphrase, and, you guys can check out JoeRogan.com episode with Elon Musk. He said that.
Rogan up my ass.
He said that, you got me with the Rogan. He said that, he said that basically what he thinks is going on is that if you get, and this is one of this, a guy who's, whether you like him or not, that's up to you, but he runs SpaceX. His spaceship now lands. He has Tesla. He's trying to build free energy cars. And he's got Boring Company and all kind of other stuff he does. But he pretty much said that if you are hit by a bus, okay, probably in New York City where the epicenter was of this, or any other area, and you, of course, maybe were overweight, and maybe you had gone to the hospital and you coughed, but you were never tested, and even if you were tested, okay, and you were hit by a bus, you died of COVID-19. I kid you not. That's the data that's coming in.
What's happening?
Well, that's what's ready. This is what got me, Vic. Damn, I'm gonna have to edit that out. This is what got me, Leche.
It's all right.
This is what got me, Leche. He said that most hospitals are going bankrupt across America, and you can Google that. You can start looking into it. Not all hospitals are doing well, and that's because our medical system's corrupted, And he said most of them that hook somebody up to a ventilator, it's $8,000 a day, and you get extra bonuses straight from the government, up to $40,000. So he said it's a money-making thing. So the hospitals are not checking the data. Leche, what they're doing. No, so what they're doing, and he's pretty much saying they're milking it. You can Google it. Everybody can look it up. He said And look, I feel sorry for people that have died, but I'm so sorry. From what I've gathered, a lot of them are overweight, and that could be due to a genetic problem, and that's horrible. But I believe most Americans are not taking care of themselves. They're eating all, especially in like some people. You look at the urban cities, and they're eating those Cheetos, those onions. I don't know what they're called, onions or 99
Takis.
cents, straight Takis, taquitos, whatever you want to call them. And it's when they're coming in, he's saying, well, how do you know that they had COVID-19? He said, they get tested. Some of them are asymptoms. It means that they have a fever, they could have a cough, but they haven't really been positive. And if something happens to them, oh my God, it was probably straight COVID-19. So I don't know. I mean, what is your opinion on that? I thought that was interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's also just going to show to you the importance for the puppet masters,
right,
to maintain the illusion to the general mass public,
right,
about the idea that these numbers are so inflated. They keep telling people that numbers keeps going up, that we have so many total number of deaths. Every day you turn on the news media and you see, in certain counties it's up 100, in other counties it's up 1,000, in other cities it's up 1,500, or today it was down. But what they're doing is they're gathering all this information, and they're basically segregating anybody that, it's almost like this: there's pre-coronavirus,
right,
and post-coronavirus. Anything pre-coronavirus would have been all your pre-existing conditions, the people that had cancer, the people that had all kinds of
then a mosquito alert. No,
careful.
it's okay.
Straight freaking, what do they call it?
Well,
freaking malaria. Malaria's glooming over you.
I try to kill it all day today. You son of a gun.
Oh, we'll get him.
I'll catch
him. We'll call them the big guns, the SWAT.
Man, these things.
But they're inflating the numbers on purpose.
Yeah, of course, totally agree with you. And if you look at the hospitals, he even said, check it out, most hospitals are empty. They're empty now. You have the epicenter in some cities, urban areas. Detroit, I don't really know about Detroit. New York is the one that I know that got hit the hardest. In other places where there's a lot of obesity, and you go into the subway, you're going to breathe that stuff no matter what. I don't care what kind of mask you're wearing. And look, he said it. And when he said money, when he said they're applying for this, whatever the government's giving, they're making
a fucking killer.
Yes, they are, my friend.
Killing off of this.
Well,
the insurance companies are making a fucking killing. The medical industrial complex is making a killing off of this. And the people that really pull the strings we don't know yet to the extent of what the amount of money these people are making yet. We don't know. Like 9/11, when they had the 9/11 commission report come out,
don't even
that started asking all the hard questions after the fact. If we actually sat down right now,
right,
and we read those 9/11 commission reports, when they did the investigations, we would start to see the amount of money that was flowing through and how many people made like fucking bandits out of this.
It's always about money or power or hiding the true agenda, some kind of thing. And I've always said, I don't even want to revisit my opinions on 9/11, but for sure, nobody knows really what happened. But to be honest with you, that building that fell, you know what I'm talking about. There was one building that had nothing to do with anything, and it ended up falling right across. What was that? Nobody can explain that. And I don't even remember. I think I mind wiped the whole thing
The person that ran that building was one of the little Bushes boys. And I'm not talking about Bush beans either.
Although I know, just to be correct, I love the bush beans, and hey, guys, keep making them. We're nothing against you. I actually stocked up on you guys, and God bless you.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if they own the damn bush beans.
Vegetarian formula, bush beans, green can.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
We're getting absolutely not one dime for that plug at all.
Nah, brother, and let me tell you, I just can't believe it. It's in front of everybody's faces. And, you know, he said, he looked at the, you know, in the show, he said, China's full force. Kind of like, man, what's going on with these people? I got the COVID. I got the COVID. It's not right.
You know it.
It's not right.
No, but the truth of the matter is they're taking a lot of people that have pre-existing conditions.
Right.
A lot of them were people that already were on their way out.
Sure.
They were in hospice already.
Yeah, and we feel very sorry for their families. Don't get this wrong. I understand.
No,
and
we're just talking mere numbers.
The truth. We're trying to find what's really, you know, I really feel sorry if your grandpa passed away and he had COVID, but at the same time, listen, people die of the flu. About 60,000 or more die of the flu each year, and pneumonia is a killer. And when you have bad testing kits, first of all, because according to some of my sources, in Asia, in Japan, and, you know, mostly Japan and other places, the kits, unless they come from Korea, okay, forget about it. They're not accurate, just to let you know.
Well, there was an article, not an article, actually one of the doctors, which I very much enjoy listening to, and I think he's a very valuable source, the American doctor, Gary Null.
The master of disaster, Sweet Null.
Sweet Null it is, the Null Ray. When you pull that Null Ray out and he starts talking, he'll lull you.
We love you, Null.
But he said one thing, and actually I was watching this yesterday. It was on YouTube. You can look it up.
What is the name of the program? Do you remember? Or?
It's Gary Null. He's rocking his shorts. You almost see his nuts. He's got his socks all the way up, and he's rocking his shades. Boys out and about. But he said one thing, and it really hit home.
Yeah, what is it?
The boy said flat out, he said, none of the kids, any one of these kits, even the best made, from the worst to the best made, are 100% efficient.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's got a huge point. I mean, you cannot.
They're not efficient. They're not really efficient. Yeah. You're not getting accurate information out of any of these test kits.
No, look, I actually read somewhere, and I forget about. My brain's a little slow, but they tested a whole prison. Okay, a whole bunch of prisoners. I don't know, 3,000. Who knows how many? They all tested positive, 98%. Yeah. None of them were sick. They show no symptoms. What is that about? And, you know, maybe their immune systems are really strong. And other than that, they've had shown tests of other people that had it. And they were testing positive again a couple of weeks ago. Oh, they're testing positive again. Yeah. Well, you know what's happening.
They don't know. The science is all fucking out of whack. And they're publishing it like it's like everything that you hear is, you know, a headline. And they're
for
really
ratings. They're doing it for ratings. CNN,
Yeah.
Fox, MSNBC, you know, straight macaroni TV, macaroni station, you know, macaroni
Sit down,
city.
Pull the fucking TV tray out, and fucking lay back, suck on the dry fruit, and turn on your favorite channel.
Like, grab a scoop of ice cream, instead of ice cream, scoop of some nice freaking mac and cheese, and upload right up the rectum. Upload.
That's it. And and it's easy access to the mind.
Ratings, ratings, more ratings. Like, like this governor of New York, ready? Today, it's a day that, it's weird. I got something. That was a few weeks ago. I can't even do the impression anymore because I burned it out. But it's like, buddy, did you really? Actually, somebody taped him or took a photo somewhere on Google. He went shopping or something. Well,
The
yeah,
boy that
Corona.
was in the boy that was in the basement, they had him like a fucking like a leper over there, and they were filming his every move,
Something
watching
like
him
that.
sleep.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just
They were
crazy.
they were putting plates of, you know, putting toast under his
Mm,
door, and you know,
yeah, I mean, another thing that
urine bags.
yeah. So the clarity of data is crazy. The symptoms, anybody could. If you have a cough, if you have a fever, if you sneeze, it's COVID. Uh, you know, it's the hospitals. They're bankrupt in many ways. The health system's corrupted. So I don't know. I mean, and don't blame everything on China. I mean, look, it might have come from China, but if you are overweight and you're sick and you had high blood pressure and and you contracted COVID, like I'm probably COVID positive too. Who knows? I'll live. Damn it, I'll live if this is mental. And let me tell you, somebody's studying this stuff. Leche.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's saying,
Oh
well,
yeah.
they ran away. They hid somewhere. You still there? Leche. Leche out. We'll be right back. There you are.
Oigo, 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 oigo. I don't know what happened.
We had
bro.
some technical difficulties. We're back.
We're back. Give me a second. Too much whiskey. Too much grandpa's cough syrup. Hold on.
Grandpa's cough syrup. Oh, I don't think I met my grandpa once. That's right. You guys can try to beat that one if you could look into me. Sonic Rascal. Never met his grandpa. Actually, I did once. Some remote jungle. Good luck finding out.
Come on, continue.
Yeah, we continue. Yeah, just let me know. You need a break?
No. It was just my watch got caught on this shit.
Well, I know the location you're recording from, and let me tell you, watch out for those crazy apes out there, silverbacks. If anybody knows about a silverback, Leche knows. But yeah, that was one of the first topics I wanted to cover. I mean, it's the same old thing. I think, like Elon Musk said, China's full force. Like he's saying. And another thing he said was very funny. He says, Americans think that things just grow by themselves. Things are just transported somewhere by themselves, and you just go in and you pick them. And things have to be made. Things have to be, things have to be transported. Things have to be packaged. And yeah, let's see what happens the next epidemic, because this is a doozy. This is the beginning of a little, escape from New York, escape from LA, escape from COVID. COVID-19, buddy.
Oh man, it's a circus. But to get and articulate the point and drive the nail home. And I guess before we can move on from this is just to say, there's people that are sick.
Sure.
They've been sick because let's face it, the majority of the world has some kind of this. They're all having something.
Yeah, we have something. Everybody, we are human. We are
outliving our predecessors, but
right.
we're sicker than our predecessors.
Right.
Because now modern medicine has allowed us to live longer, but that doesn't mean we're any healthier.
It doesn't mean you have a good life either. It just means that I don't know. It really, I'm sure some people do, but in my opinion, it's a small number, champ. We're talking maybe 3% out of 100.
So with all that being said, now I firmly believe, and I'll say it here and I'll say it right now.
Sounds good. I'm waiting for this one.
Breaking news. Straight leche de mono. It's monkey milk, and I'm ready to spray.
Monkey milk.
And the monkey's going to spray. And what I'm going to tell you is flat out honest and truth. The secret powers that control the world are eradicating the population of the elderly.
Yeah.
And anybody that's in that percentage, in that percentile of elderly people that have suffered some kind of disease in the past or has some kind of pre-existing condition, that is the exact target that we're looking for. This is all about population control, number one. It's about knocking them down. It's about getting tighter control. The powers that move the world are starting to completely clench their fist, and they're knocking these people out. And whether they're dying because of COVID, or they're dying because they died of something else. They're labeling it COVID because it's in their best interest. One, to make a fucking shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And number two is to make sure that they keep the public, and not just the American public, but the entire world arena under the fear mongering of coronavirus is around the corner. Well, I'll tell you what, the other day I had a lady said to me flat out, she looked at me dead in the eyes and she said to me, I think the cat's got it.
Look, I'm going to start blowing. So this is very much a theory. There is a gentleman that pretty much was found dead, and either his best friend or somebody was assassinated. Bullets were used. And he was it was a student. I don't know if he actually had already a degree, but he was working on a cure, and eventually maybe he was looking and he started to find stuff, and nobody really knows.
Guy?
Yeah, he was Asian.
From the college?
I don't know if it's Korean or Japanese or maybe, American, but definitely he looked like a scientist, and he looked like, unfortunately, like a movie. Like they see this guy's face and he looks just like a smart guy that, was looking for a cure, like a David Banner from the Hulk. And I started thinking with my crazy imagination, what if, we're talking about Tiger King in one of the last episodes, how he burnt everything and how 9/11 also was destroying maybe evidence. And I started thinking maybe the pharmaceutical companies are getting rid of certain type of people because maybe somebody's getting close to find out that they had knowledge that some of these medications really do kill you. And the best way to do it is get rid of the bodies, and then eventually, take some of these drugs slowly off. And then, there's no lawsuits. I know it sounds far off and it's a completely a theory, but I
don't think it's far off.
I don't either. And I have no proof, but I started thinking if I was,
the level of shit this country has done and other countries have done for
superpower
for the pursuit of power, that's like fucking wiping my ass.
And control. So yeah, and if you look at elderly people too, you're not allowed to go see them if they're in a nursing home or even in assisted living. Some places are shutting it down.
Keep them gassed.
Well, and I have people that I know with personal experience that have actually gone into these places, signed everything away that they own, so they'll be kept alive and they can slowly take away their assets and whatever money they have. Yeah. And what best way to do it and get some of that early than get rid of them? COVID-19. Oh, it was the COVID-19. I'm so sorry. It's COVID-19.
Nothing we could do.
Oh, you can't see them.
Everybody's going to accept it. Everybody will accept it. That's the reason. But you're hitting it dead on.
I'm hitting stuff hard, and
dead on.
Anybody that says it's a theory and I'm a conspiracy, that's totally conspiracy theory. And
well, you know what? They've turned the word conspiracy. They've turned the word conspiracy onto people as if it's a negative thing. When you used to be a long time ago, when you had people that would dig deep enough, they would applaud them and say, you know what?
You're a detective.
You had the guts, and you had the courage to whistleblow, or you had the courage to show the public that it wasn't right and it wasn't so. And this has happened so many years, but the same people that run the illusion machine in this world are the same people that are creating the propaganda against anybody to have a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories are free thoughts, my friend.
Right.
Free thoughts. You know what it is? Independent thinking of your own human capacity to analyze something without somebody spoon feeding you a big bucket of lard topped with powdered sugar and just chug it down. It's the truth. We are speaking things that, are they accurate? Well, maybe not in the accurate sense of what the politicians or the lawmakers might want it to be, and all they do is basically fancy that shit up and just put a little bit of that goat milk on top and then sell it to the public.
Little mac and cheese.
Little mac, but this is raw and this is real, and it all starts with a hunch. So people, listen to your gut instinct.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is completely gut, but I started thinking, this is the tricky part, ready, champ? let's wait a couple of months and see. And I'm not going to be looking at this, but maybe somebody out there, when we, let this podcast out, start looking into what medications are being withdrawn in the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe something that, they say, oh, well, we found out about this side effects and this and that. But if you don't have somebody talking or speaking, it's like Tiger King. And you nailed it when you said, best way to get rid of the evidence, burn it all and pretend like somebody else did it. Pretend like it's a straight Kobe. See, I keep thinking this is something weird. If it is, if it didn't come from China,
we know. No, it was
crazy.
It was implanted in China.
Right.
It was put in China for a very strategical purpose.
Right. And even if it was, well, listen, if you're a smart guy and even if you don't believe this, you could easily say, well, it was a bioweapon and it was made to attack us and this and that. And look, that could be true. But if you are a pharmaceutical company and you also work, like, let's think about it, they don't have any borders. There's stuff that's grown in the Amazon, stuff that's produced in China. It's also pretty much, I would say legislation. Well, legislation goes in America. Well, that passed the test and we're going to give it to people, even though it kills their kidneys. Some of you're going to get, what if a lot of them are starting to get that kidney damage? And, it's been 10 years and this and that. And I'm telling you, I'm always getting a little spooky thinking about it, because if I'm hitting something, things could eventually, the funny part is, they always say madmen are perceptive, and so are artists and other people. But I started thinking a good way to get rid of evidence of a lot of medications doing side effects to make a bioweapon or to release something, whether it came from here or there, and then blame it's a war game and all this bullshit. But it's really just about pharmaceutical companies getting rid of the evidence, because they know, like, if this Asian student was into something, let's say he was assassinated, and it sounds so weird and it sounds like it couldn't happen, but let's say he was and he figured something out. He's like, wait a minute, they might have known about this, and all these people, Kobe, straight Kobe, it's just a Kobe. So I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, no, in the theory, you're nailing it. Spooky. Straight gimp gadgets. That's what it is. It's gimp gadgets. Because I'll tell you what, they create these gadgets to gimp us all, and these strategical mechanical ploys that they implement on us, so that way we are crippled. It's a gimp gadget.
Right.
I'll tell you right now. They said the Cubans had hit gold with a serum or some kind of antidote, something to help with the coronavirus.
Sure.
Completely under the radar. they didn't even give them the light of day on that theory. They didn't even try to explore it. They didn't even say, not once did America, because America is so fucking arrogant about being the greatest superpower in the world. Okay?
Right.
That's right. Put a little pasteurized with milk. Keep them thighs nice and tight. I'll tell you what, that they couldn't recognize that Cuba was onto something. Not only that, what's the word? I have it in another language, but the word basically is it's not in the best interest of this country to pursue something to eradicate this.
Well, the sad part for me is that,
and it's the same thing with this guy, with the professor or student that was onto something. And let me tell you something else. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead, please.
I just got hit. I got hit with the fever.
You got to let it go. Let it out. Coltrane.
I'm hitting cowbells right now, and I'll tell you right now, they've also killed several other researchers in China. And they've also crippled other researchers in other countries. People that are actually striking gold with the idea they could actually help and eradicate this so-called, COVID virus are getting knocked out. Now, why are they knocking them out? If they're the solution we need.
I tell you.
It's just hard for me to believe that this guy was at home, that he was at the lab. He was just going to work, using his intellect to do something to better mankind. And his lover shows up and fucking smoked him. Smoked him like a sack of ribs.
Have you read? I didn't really read the whole article.
I read the whole article.
You're a beast, because
they showed up. The lover showed up, and I honestly, the only thing I'm not sure of is I'm not quite sure if they were.
I don't think so. Maybe they weren't.
They were lovers, but I don't know. It was the guy was a homosexual, or
was it
a man and woman? I'm not really sure.
Do they have photos of them eating cake? They could easily say that it's a love triangle or something, and then nobody really digs into it.
And then how convenient that the person shows up, the lover shows up, takes this guy out, and then they smoke themselves and they threw themselves right in that barbecue pit, and they both had
it's a little too juicy, little bit too juicy. But
it was a Texas cookout.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, switching it over to trying to be positive, I do believe there might be some people in the government, and there might be some Mulder, somebody out there that knows the truth.
Goon squads.
It's straight good squad. You know, little Steve Rogers out there trying to figure it out. But unfortunately, the machine's against you. And I look at the pharmaceutical companies. I one of my favorite movies is with Harrison Ford. You know, and Tommy, not Tommy Lee Jones. That's the other one. Well, The Fugitive. Actually, it is. That's
Fugitive.
Yeah. And that's all about, he figured something out about a company, and man, they had everyone after him. Hold on a second. They had the government coming after him, bro. They were using, it's Tommy Lee Jones. I forget the movie completely, but he was, he was hunting him down because he did this and using the same machine against somebody that, woke up. One person, but man, let me tell you, one person against a billion, trillion dollar corporation is just, I don't know. It's crazy,
But that's what it takes sometimes. If we don't speak out, if we don't propel.
We're speaking tonight.
These fuckers from Enron would have never gone down. These big banks would have never gone down. The cigarette companies would have never gone down. The fucking Dickie Nixon would have not gone down. We're talking about, it takes guts, it takes courage, and many times it's sad to say, but it'll end up taking a lot of people getting killed. But ultimately, there's always somebody that's hiding the Joker card.
Yeah, and to me, to be actually in the other side, more of a negative side. Sorry, I got some sound over here.
I can't hear it.
Hold on, 1 second.
Think it's the SWAT team.
Well, could be my SWAT team. Mrs. Manhattan. Did you hear something? Okay, sorry. Because I heard something like the knock on the door we get sometimes at night from Mrs. Manhattan. Sometimes Miss Manhattan Dukes, when she goes a little crazy, starts walking. Your phone didn't ring or anything? You're good? Sorry to interrupt, but I got a Miss Manhattan situation here, and that's it's a level D operation. But yeah, just to continue with you, back in the topic, to be a little negative. The banks got, the CEOs got bailed out. No one really went for 2008. No one really served time that I remember. Maybe one dude. That's
they got bailed out.
They got bailed out. So that's, that's not good.
Then we're still sitting here.
Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, Manhattan situation. It's all good. It's all good.
It's been diffused.
It's been diffused. Anyway, you said that Enron. I don't even remember what that was.
All the banks,
BP Petroleum still milking it, sucking the juice out of somewhere.
All these priests that were fucking fondling these kids.
Lord have mercy! Don't even get me started. That's a whole other show. The Catholic.
It is a whole other show, but again, it just takes one.
Right.
And guess what? It was an old fantasy at Neverland Ranch.
I tell you what, the Michael Jackson story, it's so complicated, and I sometimes think, did he really do all that crazy stuff? You will never know.
He did it. He fucking did it.
I always think he died. Sony killed him, whether he did it or not.
He's a master of playing with his own fucking wiener. Don't you think? Now he started fucking with other kids.
Well, I hope. I still listen to Janet. Janet, keep
listen. You listen to any Michael Jackson song.
Keep it in the closet. Keep it in the closet.
He'll tell you straight out. Beat it. and he wasn't talking about running away.
Oh my God! So yeah, to move
He was
on.
smacking it for cock soup.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You have a kid listening to the podcast, it got X-rated. We're going into the wormhole
zone.
section.
Well,
Wormhole
this is
section.
why it's a Nexus wormhole. At one point, you're talking about one thing, and before you know it, you just got hit with a vortex.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to keep it on the artsy side. I know that you at your location have been studying and shedding one of the greatest actors I've ever lived, Christopher Walken. Please tell me what's the last movie you saw. And I'm
a full-blown marathon. I'm on a full-blown marathon revisiting one of the greatest still living American actors of
our generation, old generation. I don't. It's not even.
I would say of all time.
Yeah, it's not our generation really. We're way too young. We're millennials.
No, are we millennials? I don't know what we are, but I don't know.
Misdirection.
Yeah. But this guy, I mean, his body of work, and even though it's not the kind of work that you would say like a De Niro, Pacino, Brando. In terms of the roles, he never. This was something that, as I got older, I started understanding and realizing. Walken took risks.
Yeah, he was a great actor.
The risks that he took often took him to places that maybe would hurt him,
right,
in terms of his career, but he didn't give a fuck.
No, he didn't.
He believed in a project. Right. He took the gigs, and sometimes they hurt him, sometimes they helped him. But I've been watching, and I'm a big fan of Abel Ferreira, who is the director of Bad Lieutenant.
Great movie.
He did King of New York. He did New Rose Hotel.
Classic.
He also did a couple other movies. I did a lot with Christopher Walken, but these kind of directors they were already rogue directors. Nobody wants to work with them because the guy had all kinds of addiction problems. The guy was he was like a jazz musician. He was just riffing it and creating something new, and he had issues, but he still produced important work.
Sure.
Yeah. Misunderstood artist. But Walken worked with these guys, and he did a lot of movies that a lot of people in the business wouldn't have the balls to touch. Right. Because they knew it would burn them. And Walken did it. He went in there and he did some roles that some of them are just, everything you watch though has his seal of approval. Sure. He has his seal, his touch. Right. And he's able, and when you, as an artist, right. And I think this is the epitome of an artist to me personally. This goes for music. This goes for acting. This goes for art, filmmaking. Exactly. Because that's what art is.
Dancing, choreography.
Everything.
All the disciplines. Go ahead.
But when you are able to execute your seal, your style, your signature in anything you do, whether you're playing aristocrat from the 1700s, Victorian age, Renaissance age, all the way to a modern mobster, and you still are able to not only bring your seal to the table, but still execute the role. That's the mastery of the game.
Right. I believe that too. And, we're all influenced and we all carry things from other actors and other disciplines, and sometimes you can say, well, that's this guy or that's this artist, but I wouldn't say a real artist, but I would say somebody that has a signature, somebody that's capturing your eye, usually has their own style. They may have certain influences, but I tell you, Walken is Walken. No, I don't know anyone that has come from, I don't know any 20-year-old that has that kind of. It's like Pacino, although Pacino rants all the time. No, he's always mad and I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Signature. That's his signature.
He goes crazy. He's got a huge, in all the movies, most of his movies, he always has this dramatic dialogue that lasts about 2 minutes. You don't know me. You don't know what, and it goes forever and ever and ever. And you still watch it. You still kind of know, well, this is his style. This is what he does. But Walken has the same thing.
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw recently,
Sure.
as I've been watching him and revisiting the movies and
Right.
watching documentaries on his style and his how he basically got his signature.
Sure.
A lot of people are obsessed with his phrasing,
Right.
and I'm obsessed with his phrasing.
Right.
And for the longest time, you know, I would always wonder, well, how did he come about with the style?
Well, did he, or is it just him? I don't know.
No, well, it's him obviously, but his
Sure.
style comes from rhythm, and
Right. You're
he comes
right.
out. He
You
used to
can
be
hear it.
he used to be a dancer.
That makes sense.
He
He's in
loves
Pennies from
dancing.
Heaven. Pennies from Heaven, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he did
With
that
Steve.
video. He did that video with that one rap artist or something, and he's dancing and he's doing all his moves and all that stuff. But he comes from a musical theater background. He did musicals. He's danced in chorus line. This is before he even launched his career
Sure.
as an actor. But he said in one of his interviews when he reads, and I found it so fascinating.
Mm.
He always looks for the rhythm in the phrases.
I know. That's amazing. And I've heard other actors do it, but you can, when I hear him speak, and I can't,
Yeah, yeah,
that was not me who did
exactly.
that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I can't really nail him tonight. I have to
No,
study
no,
him,
it's
but you know
fine.
what?
But that, yeah, when he
You
starts
know,
talking and he
hey,
says,
hey,
yeah,
and
when
you
I
can see
got
it with
something
his,
going on, and then he gets that, and then all of a sudden he drops his voice and he says,
wait a minute,
I know, and he says,
wait.
I'm gonna get tonight's gonna be the night. Because you gotta
Great.
understand
Yeah,
when things are gonna hit you,
yeah,
and then
yeah. You're getting it.
but
You're getting it.
it,
Yeah,
but
I have to. It's pretty good.
to me, I think I the fact that it's
Yeah,
amazing, and artists have uh they're in tune to a sensitivity that other people are not in tune to,
sure.
and I think it's a multi-dimensional sensitivity
Yeah, and I
where you
think.
can look at something and you can say, wait a minute, I see this in this way
Jeez,
and I can
microphones.
apply it this way.
Right.
And that's very difficult to see. Only I think it's very exclusive to artists to actually be able to see through the layers. And I think to me, he just figured this out in terms of when he was reading, he found rhythm in it.
Sure.
And that's the essential part of walking, I think. And after that, just his persona comes in.
Well, I also think you're talking about this. I mean, what did you call it? You call it a connection that he has. And what did you call it? That he's tapped into. What did you say? He's tapped into. I went brain dead for a second. Walking's
No,
tapped into.
he's just tapped into another dimension. He's tapped
Right.
into a different dimension where he's able to see a different layer. There's something hidden in there that
Right.
most people just take a script, or they'll take a piece of music,
Right.
or they'll take a painting, an empty canvas, and say, "Oh, it just is an empty canvas. Oh, it's just a script." No, he looks at it and sees beneath the lines.
Well, I also, I mean, I think the beauty about him, if Nikola Tesla always used to say he tapped, he had an antenna and he could, pick something up. It wasn't coming from him. He was tapping into it.
Right.
And I think a lot of artists, like you said, painting, acting, but with walking, and I'm sure, Philip Hoffman, what's
Yeah,
Philip,
Philip
you know,
Hoffman.
other actors have that where they're not only tapping into it with their antenna, but they're also taking that dialogue that was written and they're making it, director will let you know if he feels that's right or wrong. But you, as the artist, you're conducting that dialogue in those words and you're making it. That is what you're playing with. You're
Yeah,
using those colors. Those are your colors. That's your instrument, maybe. However you want to see it. Maybe you're also dancing or you're smiling, whatever. Joaquin Phoenix does this greatly, and Joker too. He plays a Joker that is completely different than Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero, all these other guys, and
Nicholson.
Nicholson, another beast. And they take it and they make it theirs, and they find their rhythm. And I always wonder. I think great directors, not that I've seen a lot of documentaries of directing, but I think they let some of these artists go, and they're like, maybe I wasn't thinking this way, maybe I wasn't, but hey, let's try this way. That this guy's got something to say, or I like how he does it. That's why I got him in the movie, or however you want to put it. But yeah, I mean, one of the movies I always think of Walking for whatever reason is a movie that a lot of people probably haven't seen, and it's a movie that he's used to being this New York guy, this mafia guy, this wise guy, or the father figure, whatever. But Sarah Plain and Tall, it's a movie that, and that's with the actress Glenn Close, who supposedly she's bipolar and all this stuff, and it's like, who cares? She's super talented, and maybe she's super creative like everyone else. Maybe supposedly she's dealing with it very well. Hopefully I read this right. But that's a great movie of him playing this farmer, and
yes, absolutely.
He's looking for a wife, right? And he writes, it's wonderful. It's a great movie. It's out there in the field, beautifully shot. I wish I knew who the director was. It's great, and it shows a range, that he has.
And it's funny you bring that up, because he says of the roles he wish he could play more of,
right?
He would like to play more of the normal guy, because his style kind of branded him in a way.
Right.
So I urge the audience, for sure, if you guys are interested out there listening to the Nexus Wormhole, if you guys are interested in investigating
Christopher Walken's,
Walken,
his catalog.
This podcast is not just about conspiracy theories and end of days. It's also about reawakening the artistic mind.
Sure.
So if you guys are interested, look into his body of work. Don't just take it for granted and watch the SNL skits, which are great. A lot of people just sort of take the SNL skits and they kind of go watch maybe some of the later movies, some of the younger kids.
Champagne.
I love it, but it's not. That is not really.
No, that's
his range.
Just warming up.
I'm having a good time, which is great. But go out there and look up the movies in the range.
Let's give them a couple.
So many.
Quartet is one of the ones.
Late Quartet, the Late Quartet,
and that's with Philip Hoffman.
Seymour Hoffman.
It's
got what's her name in it too? That's really good.
Great
very
cast.
Good actress.
Great cast.
What's the name of the girl?
I have no idea.
I forgot her name, but she's a good actress. Very good actress.
Great actress.
I don't remember her name. And then they have Sarah Plain and Tall. You have to see
Brainstorm.
This time. If you haven't seen that.
Brainstorm's a great one too. It's
Brainstorm.
It's very retro, very 80s if you're into that. It's very vintage look, and it's just, he's at his prime, believe it or not. He's glowing in that camera.
And then also, my favorite is Dead Zone and the Deer Hunter. Those two are and King of New York.
Of course.
Hey, I love this guy.
That's a great one.
Yeah, so maybe we'll talk more about actors. Maybe in a different podcast we can review different actors. But this guy, for sure, guys, you got to go check this guy out. This guy here, he's a fucking school. He's a school.
He's great. He's great. I wanted to turn around and maybe talk about also about what's going to happen after supposedly the economy starts, because it's a current event. And I read that Disney Springs, which is, if people don't know, if you go to Disney World, there's a whole little land called Disney Springs, which is kind of like a mall, which is not inside Disney World. It's outside, and people can go to it. They don't have to pay. They've got all kinds of shops. And Disney's opening up on May 18th or the May 20th. I'm not sure, but I see it as a test ground, straight test ground. Mickey Mouse is getting jiggy with it.
They're good. They'll.
I wonder what they're going to be wearing. They're going to be wearing creepy Mickey Mouse face masks, which I have one, which in my old days I got when I was
face mask with the Mickey.
Oh, I got it through a nuclear meltdown. I had to wear it on the train, and I got photos of that. And let me tell you, I just can't wait to see how that goes, because I think I wanted to talk to you about this. What's your opinion? I'm thinking of lawsuits, because in many ways, if people do get corona and they open up and this and that, and you're not wearing a mask or you're not following phase 2 guidelines, whatever the hell's going on,
Phase
somebody's going to
2.
try to sue somebody. You wait. Or a business, champ, like they can go into a business and I got the bread and grandpa got the Kobe, and then it's heavy. Grandpa got the Kobe, ate the bread, and you weren't wearing the mask. So, and the test is wrong, and you got the whatever, the straight Kobe. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's
Your
gonna.
opinion?
Well,
What's your opinion on that? Leche, straight leche.
this thing about reopening Disney Springs, it only benefits one person. That's fucking Disney.
The mouse.
The mouse, the
Big
mouse,
mouse.
the mouse is losing. What's the mouse want all the time? Homeboy wants some cheese.
And I used to love him. I love movie. I used to love the old classics. Pinocchio is one of my favorites. It's a dark little movie,
That is
Pinocchio.
dark.
And
That's
that's when
absolutely
the
dark.
artist used to, you could argue this and that. I still love some of the things come out of Disney, but at the end of the game, we're talking about the retail experience. And like you said, what's a, how do I say this without sounding negative? Homie's got some cheese in his pockets.
Absolutely.
I don't
I
know. Let's
think
leave it there.
I'm surprised. I didn't know
Sure.
that actually.
Yeah.
So this is breaking
Well,
news to me.
it's not. Yeah.
For
They're
where I
keeping it
am
quiet.
in my part of the world, I don't keep up much with Disney.
A lot of families that their families retired over there, and some friends telling me that it's gonna reopen, and they just can't wait to go back and taste a little bit of goofy goop and all the characters. Minnie's freaking misers. Donald Duck's freaking
Donald Duck's he's about to take you out for a ride. Get ready, people. Get ready. They're gonna make money like you won't believe. People will come back out. The thing is
Sure.
this: when you go to places like this, how the fuck are you not gonna spread this shit?
I mean, I'm starting to
I don't
think.
care if you wear
Leche,
masks.
Leche,
I
I'm
don't
starting.
care what you wear.
I
I
don't
mean,
think there's anything. I think if you do get the virus, it's a super flu, and whether it was a bioweapon or not, you're only going to suffer if you are overweight and certain types of medication, which I keep thinking that's why everyone's just being knocked out. Who knows? It's so weird, but I don't think they can stop it. And especially when they tested certain populations with I don't know if you read this, some people that have tested positive that had it and beat it. They looked into them again, and the virus is in them, but it's broken up. It's not really formed. It's just kind of like your body has built an immune system against it. So I don't even know if this is real anymore. I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
This is getting.
I'm with you
I
there.
don't
I'm with you
know.
there.
I don't
I'm
know,
with
man.
you.
I'm
But
so confused. I think if you have somebody that's above 60 years old going to Disney Springs, good luck with that. They're probably going to catch it and die. No offense to anybody. You guys better
no,
be careful.
but that's
But
the thing. Okay, this is what my take on this whole thing
sure, sure.
is simple. You're not gonna go out of your way.
Got to cover my tracks.
You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go out of your way and build this massive media hype on this monster. Get the panic and fear in everybody's mind and perceptions. Keep everybody scared anywhere in the world about this moment, about the situation, and then all of a sudden bank on we've defeated everything and we're back to normal. Everything's normal. It was just a scare.
Yeah.
I think there's still more to this. There's
Well,
more coming.
yeah.
Whether it's, I do think it's a lot of it. I think about 95. No, I was gonna say maybe about 75% of this is bullshit.
Well,
But
yeah.
25% of an element that's wiping out people, and that
Yeah.
much we know. Okay.
Yeah. Skeeter.
Well, you know what? Skeeter's gonna bite everybody right in the butt, right in the butthole when they go to Disney Springs. Because Disney Springs, Disney's losing money. They're hemorrhaging money.
Oh, I can tell you how much. I actually read into it. So let me jump in very quickly. It's $500 million that they've lost. And let's think about this very quickly. they just built built a Luke Skywalker, you know, suck the freaking large, the biggest, the most powerful, the largest glowing freaking, what is it called? They're laser swords. I'm so out of it tonight.
Hand job solo. Yep.
Oh, look, put it this way. I'm going to get to it. The freaking biggest vibrating lightsaber, it's needing to be recharged right now because it's been out of commission, and they built this whole thing around to worship the lightsaber that Lucas sold, and the mouse is made into some illegal freaking, you know, space sucking, whatever you want to call it, because I'm a little escapades. And we're talking straight Miami Sound Machine kind of deal going on, where you hear it, the rhythm's going to get you, but it's really, you're going to pay more to sit in line and wait to be told by your iPhone, hey, you didn't get in, so walk out, you dumb idiot.
Yeah.
So product.
They got to make up lost revenue, and they're gonna. And the first thing they're gonna do,
well, they're opening up.
They're opening that up. Yeah,
they're opening and they want,
and they don't give a flying fuck about anybody.
The governor's not saying anything. Nobody's.
Of course nobody's. He's not. He's one of Trump's scamps.
I don't see any actors. I don't see The Rock, who's making some movie about, I don't know, being in the jungle in a ship somewhere with Emily Blunt. I don't see him going, you know, The Rock smells some cooking here, and it's not right. You know, whatever The Rock's smelling.
They can't say that. He's out of a job.
They're under contract. You got it.
He's out of a gig. He can't speak.
And let me tell you,
by half the corporations.
And we got to tell the public out there, we hide our identities based on that, because we're living in days now that if you show your face, you got somebody, a troll sitting out there that loves Disney. Look, don't get me wrong, Sword of the Stone's one of my favorite movies. There's Disney movies that I love, but at the same time, it's talking about the corporate machine and the marketing machine and everything else, like, you know, opening up, and there's this pandemic, and I mean, what are you going to do to save the world? I mean, literally, good luck with that. Who knows?
Well, I think the whole thing's irresponsible.
Of course it is.
I think it's irresponsible on every level.
But maybe they have information too. Maybe they know that this is just going to wipe out some elderly people and forget it. You gotta cash in, man.
Well, it's a trickle effect. It's a domino effect. They go ahead and they open the doors. Downtown trickle. I feel a little wet down there. They say to themselves, okay, we can open up. Governors are starting to give the orders. They're saying we can go ahead and start at 25% capacity, which is fucking bullshit. Nobody's operating at
25% capacity. Ready, boy.
Break.
We're opening. We got to open listen, team, you guys did a great hustle out there.
Come on.
I want to let you know that this is the best in Florida football team now. We're going to open the shitter house for 25% capacity. So we'll get in there. Hey, Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones, hold it. Don't poop on. Listen, buddy, those spandex are worth more than you. Put the helmet down. Use the helmet.
That's right.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
Florida football.
They're going to come out. They go. They test the waters. They get sued. And what do? They'll sue the governor.
Man,
and they'll say, we weren't ready.
Disney
why did you tell it?
Disney can take on.
Disney will kick. If Disney wanted, they'll cripple the nation.
They'll take my God. I mean, I won't mess with them. They're you know.
They have already masterminded every angle. If they're going to open up, it's because they figured out an angle.
This is what I see. Tell me if I'm wrong, Ready. I see a lady dressed up, you know, like Princess Leia, and she's standing in front of the entrance, and she cuts the ribbon. She's wearing a mask, and it says, the mask says, "I know." You know, I love you. Ready? I know. And she goes, a whole new world, a whole new Kobe just for you. Don't fucking breathe the air, but put your credit card out and buy some shit.
Yeah, that's right.
How expensive is
it? Buy your companion turkey leg and sing along.
That is pretty much a turkey leg. That whole turkey leg joke. You'll be trying to breathe to that.
There's no way.
But
and probably the hottest seller.
Sure.
Is gonna be that fucking mask. Everybody's gonna be rocking that mask and walking around with that.
God.
Yeah, I know. And
they're all gonna have masks. I guarantee you, there's gonna be a BB-8 mask.
No, they're gonna ram a mask up your face.
No, this is what I see.
Like it or not.
You ready for this, champ? This is what I see. Ready? You and your girlfriend, or you and your wife, you and your loved one, and you got 2 masks. Ready? And a freaking little spaghetti thing you can put. Ready? Lady in the Tramp. Connected, the little spaghetti glow. So cute. So cute. 500,000 views on YouTube. Yeah. The Lady in the Tramp. Forget it. Lady in the Sucker. It's more like it. Pay up, buddy.
So, $65 and you fucking slap that thing in your mouth. Yeah. And at night you turn the switch on and it glows in the dark and you're walking around. Right. Oh, it's so cute. It's Disney. Everything's back to normal. No, I don't think so. Nothing's back to normal.
And, just to talk, I love the artist in Disney. There's nothing against you. And you guys who held your job, I'm happy for you. The ones that got fired, hope they hired you back. I know a lot of artists that struggle. We're talking about the marketing machine. And like Leche said, it is kind of responsible that, like I said, it's news to a lot of people. Google it. They have some doctor too. They have a doctor that's some kind of like, I kid you not, like a Surgeon General of Disney. I kid you. The lady looks like, you know what she looks like? God forgive me for saying it. She's a very attractive older woman, but she looks like Mary Poppins. They stuck her down in the oven and they pulled her out like freaking Captain America. They defrosted her and they never fixed her hair. They never fixed her hair. She looks like she was baking too long, and man, something's going on there. Are you still there? Rocky.
I'm here.
Good. It's been a strange night, but yeah, man, it's crazy. But that's something I want to talk about because I found it very, very crazy. In other news, California, from what I read, passed out. I forget what the governor's name is, Gavin or some kind of the governor.
That guy.
That guy, that's right.
Prince and the White Horse.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's gonna save everybody. So that guy. He put out a list of things that you can do now because they're in phase 2 already. I think I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's when you get on your knees and you start sucking. That's phase 2.
Sucking macaroni. World X-rated. Sucking all the mac and cheese. It ain't no Betty Crocker either.
It's all white sauce too. No fucking yellow sauce.
So they put out a list just to make you laugh, and I'm not going to look it up. It's just some things I remember. Ready? You can play badminton.
Because the nation is so fucking healthy.
Not just
we all played badminton around here. In the States, everybody loves badminton. It's a national pastime. What else can you play?
No, listen,
this is great.
This is another one. You can throw a baseball to each other, but I started thinking
6 feet away.
Or something like that, but ready? You don't like your neighbor? Hey, Joey, come here. I want to play. Let's play a little. I got to work it out. Here you go, buddy. Straight Covey. Covey it out. Kid you not. They didn't think about that. And the ones that I love the most, ready? You can canoe by yourself. What the fuck?
Well,
come on. If you live in the inner city, you live in Compton or maybe West Hollywood or, North Hollywood, and there are no canoes out there. What the hell are you talking about? Canoe alone. There's a bunch of other stuff like the light martial arts, because there's light martial arts, ready?
Yes.
And I believe somebody I was listening to, probably was a Joe Rogan program, Tai Chi. You can do Tai Chi. So you can go out and then do the rooster mode, whatever they do, and get in touch with a feng shui, and put a little, Mandarin chicken on, and then tiger out all alone by yourself. And another one that I found very interesting, ready? The state of California allows you. Think about this. They're letting you, how heavy, brave new world, champ. They're letting you meditate.
Oh, thank you. Let us think about this. Let us purify ourselves before We've been down.
Somebody in Burbank, ready? I see him. Guys, I'm sorry, the neighbors are out, but I have to align my chakras. Levitating. Hold on, my abdomen is finally in peace. Oh
my God.
Straight chakras.
Straight chakras. Chakra City. Let me tell you something.
Chakra City. You know what I feel like?
Who in the world is... Okay, go.
Hold on, I have to blow. I feel like one of our movies that we love the most, I feel like everybody, I feel like you and me right now are the 40-year-old virgin getting on a bike, and we're riding our bike, smiling around like the movie sort of starts and whatever, and everybody's got COVID, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? I kid you not.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway,
in a nutshell.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to know who got in this committee of, let me say, to the people of California,
right,
or any other country or any other state, what they can do and what they cannot.
Well, there's the misdirection,
hired for this. Who got this gig?
Well,
and who in their bright mind stayed up all night thinking about, oh yeah, they can definitely canoe.
Not even
alone.
That. Ready? And this is what I see, and I kid you not. Ready? Commissioner Lowell, Commissioner. Yeah, I've been reading the text here, and my wife Betty, she meditates, and her left chakra, her asshole, is all the way up in her ear, and I want to. God damn it, Betty, we gotta meditate. I told her, call upon all the old masters to get that asshole totally levitating to the left.
Because they're so spiritual in LA.
Yeah, they're spiritual with your money. Forget that. Ready? They always use the line, ready. There's a couple of guys, and I'm not trying to be racist in any way, but there's a lot of, I've seen a couple of videos of Indian masters of Bombay. We're going to deep into the Nexus and the wormhole, and we're going to do this. You're going to pull out your wallet, and I'm going to go quantum in your a-hole. I'm going to go straight quantum. We're going to find the truth deep inside the upload. I kid you not. That or you have the white guy. You have the white. Hi guys. Basically, got chili whoppers. We're going to get in there. We're going to do some work to recreate what was taken from you in your childhood. Now, everybody take a deep breath and don't fart. Don't let it out. That's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to let it out because no one's going to have jobs, champ. There's going to be guns everywhere. People are going to be like, hey, I need to pay. You need to pay rent. It's going to be buckle up for that. Nobody's talked about that. Are they people paying rent next month?
That's good. Well, the federal government apparently is extending.
Yeah, but
or at least whoever Cuomo did, not the federal government. It was Cuomo who said in New York, and I give him respect where respect is given. At least he's being sensitive to these kind of things because the country's suffering.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But now that we're talking about that, which is exactly where I wanted to go anyway, and you hit it right on that point.
Thank God.
I wanted to hit on this point, which is these things that these councilmen, these cabinet members, these fucking goonies in the goon squads.
Right.
They sit here and they draw up these plans, and you can see and a reflection of what what their little mandates are.
Sure.
How it only reflects to the small percentage of upper middle class to upper tier rich people,
right?
And how this really excludes the people in poverty. The majority of these things that are put together, these legislatures and these plans,
right? I know, I understand.
All of this stuff has no consideration to what the true the true world citizen is going through. The poverty, the people in poverty, the people struggling, the people that they don't have enough money to buy a piece of cheese. The
No,
people
they
that are
buy
struggling.
Twinkies, they buy potato chips, they're overweight, and they get the COVID, and then they're
why
freaking
this?
dead.
And in many, they're not at fault for being overweight.
No, of course not. No one is.
They're not, because they're not educated. And these
poverty's
laws,
a horrible thing.
These laws that they're putting together are specifically tailored for these people. Tell me, what fucking poor person has the time to meditate?
All I know is,
tell me,
you got to work. You got 3-4 jobs. You got to feed your kids. You got to do this. You got to do that. I've never met somebody that is a hardworking person that's just trying to make it, and they have a whole 2 hours to go freaking do hot yoga in the middle of a park and stretch their freaking hamstrings out and say, I'm worth it. Every little step of sunshine.
Everything I am.
Let the sunshine just bless me.
Yes.
Yeah. What I've seen is people that go out and grab McDonald's because it's the only thing they can get.
They got to worry about feeding a family, and they all live off a $1 menu or a $5 menu. You tell me, how many fucking poor people do you know have a canoe?
I'll tell you what's sad to me. People come to this country in canoes from other countries trying to get a better life.
Man-made canoes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And it's sad that they get here, and maybe in their country they had a better canoe. I don't know. It all depends.
Whether even if it's from other countries or not, it's just there's the line of poverty in this country is a lot higher. It's a lot higher than they talk about. They like to present to the world stage that America is the greatest country in the world and that we don't have these problems. That's a fucking load of shit.
Well, I've always said this.
That's not true. The people are out there hurting.
They're hurting. And the sad part for me is there is some of the best actors and best music, best things in the world, and the worst things in the world are in the same country. And unfortunately, you have a corrupted system where it could be, oh man, it's just, I don't like to think about it because there's so much wealth here, and I just can't believe that.
Wealth for who?
For who? For the people that make the laws, the people that protect themselves with the loopholes.
This is all that is.
It's not only for them. It's not for people that work. It's not people that, now they take whatever you have away if they can. Especially when you get older. You can't even own a house anymore, my friend.
You tell me a little stimulus check, that little piss in a cup is going to patch it up?
We talked about this. I don't know if we covered this, but we pretty much said that stimulus check is going to get you a George, barbecue freaking
Foreman
grill for $1,200. And the reason it's $1,200, you get free gas. You get free containers of gas. So when you get... Yeah, so when you get your, when you go to the store and you can't even buy because the meat distribution has gone wrong, and there's I don't even know. You just put your right hand in it and barbecue it, right? Barbecue your right hand and call on Rick from The Walking Dead.
Let me tell you something, and this is gonna hit up. This is gonna hit up. I'm gonna go cosmic with Alan Moore.
Good. I'm about to go wormhole. Let's go wormhole.
I'm about to dig deep in the wormhole, and for the listeners, if you have never heard of Alan Moore,
subscribe.
Get on the ticket. We will school you as best as we can.
Yeah, we will.
We're nerds, and we love all kinds of things. Comics, we love all kinds.
We
of
are
things.
comics
Movies,
in the end.
We love all kinds of things. Music, and and we love also the idea of fair, truthful, and just world. And this is what we're talking about here. This is what the Nexus is all about. It's a million things, but in this thing that we're talking about right now, I'm going to bring out Alan Moore for a reason.
Oh, great. If you don't know who Alan Moore is, just to explain quickly, he's a great comic book writer. He has written, probably his most famous book is The Watchmen. He has other, V for Vendetta, other great books. I believe he's a Scorpio, and he also has very long hair. And he used to work at a meat factory, believe it or not. He worked in a slaughterhouse. That's when he was crafting his art. So when he was younger. Anyway, go ahead.
And probably one of the few artists out there in the world that have stuck true to his word from beginning to end.
Right.
It's not just like one guy that he hit it big with a couple comic books, and then before you know it, he was selling toothpaste, and he was in commercials, and you saw his face on the mug, just like you saw Stan Lee doing a cameo every fucking 2 seconds. And I'm no disrespect to Stan Lee.
But we love Stan Lee. We love him.
Stan Lee
it's just
made
different colors.
amazing. It's just
different colors.
Alan Moore wasn't sitting there fighting the big wigs and the suits so he can get a cameo and get a kickback. He is purely for the art and for what he stands for, whatever. And I don't know the guy. I don't know. For all you know, I got an asshole. But you know what?
He still lives in his own same home he's lived in forever. He's a beast.
Sticks true. But one thing
comes
that he
out
does
in the writing. Comes out in the writing.
Exactly.
I think so. Some artists have that.
Yeah. And the one thing that he's done throughout his writing is always challenge the reader.
Status quo, the reader and the status quo with the current events, even to the things that are timeless. Because it's almost like if you read Watchmen, that is a timeless comic book. That is a conspiracy that happened in Rome. That's a conspiracy that's happening now. And
it's relevant to the times now, and that's why I was bringing it up.
Right, great characters.
In the Watchmen. One of the main characters being Vite, who is Ozymandias.
The nemesis, the bad guy. Well, he's not. He makes him human, which is great.
He's an anti-hero.
Right.
He's a hero. He's not a hero. You don't know whether to like him or love him, hate him.
Well, he's
ultimately
smart. I mean, I like them. That's what's dark.
At the end of the comic book, you don't know how to feel about what he did. There's justice to it.
Sure.
And at the same time, there's not. And that's the challenge of Alan Moore as a writer. He challenges you. But the one thing I wanted to go into was that in that very comic book, he is talking about the state of the world, which is not that much different than
the 80s when he wrote it.
No, what we live in right now.
Pretty much.
80s now, it's not that much.
Same thing, difference. Right? It's different colors, different shades, but same kind of thing going on, right?
Right, and what Vite is looking for, the one of the main characters,
Ozymandias.
Ozymandias is trying to bring a balance back to the world. And let me tell you something. If this world, and people need to ponder this idea for a second, because this is the kind of idea that it's just, I think as human beings, we grow so used to saying this is just the way it is, but we don't realize the power that we have to change things. If we unite, if we unite, the power of the unison. Uniting is power. That we don't have to take this anymore. We don't have to take this idea of living and accepting these things anymore. And you can change the living environment that we have. And this could have been achieved hundreds of years ago. And I don't think people ask themselves that question. Why do we live the way we live? Why is it a capitalistic state? Why is it that we have to accept this as this is the only way? Why is it a two-party system? So many whys. But ultimately, every one of these whys conspires to one thing. Somebody is dominating you.
Of course. And this is usually people in power, people right in front of you, people that hide behind those people. And to clear the, I think, the unification hopefully will come. You start out every day by being kind to other people, by picking up, I pick up when I'm walking in a street, in a city across the world, I'll pick up garbage if I see it. It's the little things. I try to be collaborate. I try to say hello and try to understand. Maybe somebody's down, try to help, and maybe call somebody. If somebody asks me, it could be any street, could be anywhere. And the way to control some people is to keep them separated. Not to sound like a hippie, but it is the age of Aquarius, and everyone is separated in their houses. Nobody knows their neighbors really. They don't talk to people like they did 100 years ago, where your neighbor was a life source. If something went wrong, you got to know your neighbor.
No community.
It was a community, and your neighbor would probably save you if you had a house fire or 200 years ago, if you something happened, Indians were coming, or if you were the Indians living in your own tribal community, if the white man was coming with the guns, you had to know what tribes were your friends. You had to know, hey, Mr. Rogers down there, he's my friend. You know, he's a little grumpy, but hey, he'll be there if you need it. And I have to be there for him if he needs something. Damn it. So, it's just, the people don't want to compromise, man.
No, and
they don't want to look into that. They don't want to admit that maybe they'll need help, or maybe in the future. And I don't know. I get scared about this COVID-19 thing because I think, what if a meteor hits? It happens through history. What if something, catastrophic, and you'd really, I don't know, man. I hope that we all get together somehow, because I just see guns, I see power, and I tell you, it's like you said, it could have happened 100 years ago, but why didn't? We're talking about Ozymandias in a comic book. The character goes to Egypt. There's great details of that. I don't remember. He is learning. He's looking at all these,
cultures,
Alexander the Great,
cultures.
Right, Egyptian
studying
culture.
Great rulers and great rulers of civilization.
Right, but at the same time, great rulers were great dictators, and also don't get me wrong. I think some of them were great and might have had a good heart, and that's why we write about them. But a lot of them were just wanted to conquer and destroy and this and that, and that's why I think he's such an interesting character. You understand that he's trying to pave a better road, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So it's great writing. I mean,
great writing, and ultimately what he was trying to do is bring a unification system, a utopian system. Right. And I don't think that it's, no, right now, could we ever reach that kind of system?
I don't know, man.
I don't think so. But did we ever have the ability to? I think hundreds
maybe
of years
Atlantis ago. Was something like that. Who knows? Maybe
I think so. Maybe very, very well so. And even though Atlantis was doomed, maybe
they got their reach. Everybody like Krypton. We're big sci-fi nerds. Like everyone reaches a point, and it has to start over somehow. And some people don't get to start over. That's talking about completely different. Krypton's a great sci-fi story.
Well, that's Krypton's Superman. Just a reflection of Atlantis. Is really a model of what Atlantis was and what they were all about. And then, if you want to get into that, America is a reflection of Krypton.
Well, that's why I love Elon Musk. He's trying to go to Mars, and there's that great line in the release the Zack Snyder cut, just to let you guys know out there, release that damn cut, but just to get back.
At least to see it and put everything back in balance.
But Man of Steel, which I liked, I will stand behind that movie. If you Geekasoids didn't like it, too bad. That's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Beautiful colors, and there's that line where I don't know if it's General Zod or whoever, and he has that line, paraphrasing, because it's like, we used to explore.
Mm-hmm.
We used to. It's like they're just sitting there.
Used to explore. America used to.
Well, we supposedly went to the moon, and I believe we did. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if the first moon landing was real. I'm not going to argue that, but I know we've been there, and I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories about flat Earth or any of that. Everybody has their opinions, but what I'm saying is, like you said, America used to. We still are, hopefully. Somewhere.
Well, without a fucking space program, you're not.
That's right. And another great movie, Interstellar. That's a jewel. What happened to NASA? Went underground.
Well, and that's a reflection of what happened to NASA now. Where is NASA? Where will they expect? Remember when I remember when Obama was out there shouting, "We're going to Mars." I'm still waiting to go to Mars. We never went to Mars.
No, we didn't. And hopefully, Elon Musk, I have a lot of faith in you, because I think that's what we need. We need to go out and explore. We need to have we need a new kind of mythology. We need to, in another one's great, Star Trek, the one that was renewed, the first one with Chris Pine, when he's riding his motorcycle, and somewhere in the Midwest, they're building the ship. That's what we need.
Awesome.
That's the new myth. I would think the new mythology has to come from there. Go ahead.
I think that getting into the Krypton thing, it's a good and getting it. It's just sort of a good segue into one of the news headlines that just came out. I think it was yesterday.
Sure.
One of the voices of the Goon Squad came out and said that they are going to put a bill together to get America to start manufacturing again.
All you have to do, America, all you have to, Goon Squad, all you have to do is promise some fair pay. Number two, a decent health, for some
Coverage.
kind of need coverage for if the people that work, and everyone needs it anyway. I don't know. Good luck. I think we need a universal health care, but that's my opinion. I don't know how they're going to do it. Canada did it. I don't know why we can't do it. And number three, a pension.
You commie bastard.
a pension that, guess what? When you're old, you can maybe go out and buy that boat. You got some cash. You don't have to take a second mortgage. You know that Michael
you can
Caine,
row by yourself.
Did you?
In the
Yeah,
canoe.
row by. It's so sad. You know, I don't even see older people buying a canoe. I see them buying ready. They go to Hobby Lobby and get one of those plastic ones. I can't afford a big one, but here, little Billy, let's super glue this one together and pretend we can go out. I kid you not. Right. It's so sad.
But the thing is, and this is, maybe we can get into it in another podcast, sure. But just to maybe put the cap on it, throw a little bit of ice in that glass, is definitely America has realized, like Krypton,
sure,
probably too late, that
I hope not,
yeah, but maybe too late in the sense that they put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket was China. Then in doing so,
that Easter bunny, let me tell you, he's gonna sit on it and eat some freaking Mandarin chicken. Go ahead.
That's why you go out there to eat some Chinese. They always say lucky family. They're certainly lucky over there. I'll tell you what, though,
I love lucky family restaurants.
Go ahead. I'll tell you what, though, America's come to realize that the dependence.
Too. Go ahead. I love American Chinese. I love anyway. Go ahead.
Food, but the dependency that we had on this on giving everything to countries for cheap labor,
right,
has finally
beautiful culture
reaped the results that were always there in as clear as daylight, that America was going to suffer. Right. Why? Because we have such dependence on China and other third world countries. We've put all our medicine, our medicine suppliers from third world countries. So what's going on right now? We don't have even penicillin in this country right now because there's a shortage from China.
Sure.
China and other countries, and Taiwan and other countries, because of the COVID situation.
And I love Taiwan because they're not China. They're actually
their own thing. They're always kind of been in the middle there somewhere. But what's going on? Right. We can't get this medicine fast enough to the States. Sure. Why? Not because we don't make it in this. It's not because we make it in the States and we're having problems with COVID. No, it's because it's in another country that's suffering COVID, that's going through the same coronavirus the whole world is facing, and now we can't get this medicine to come to our country fast enough. That's called dependence, people. Dependence, and dependence is starting to bite you in the ass. Same thing. What's going on with Detroit? What's going on in Michigan? All these people without a jobs. Why? Because we ripped them, we stole all their jobs, and we shipped them overseas. Now these people are suffering. Now we're seeing astronomical effects that are affecting the nation, all based on the fact that we exported what used to make this country such a dominant nation, which was manufacturing.
Right.
We don't have that anymore.
No, why would we pay them? I mean,
no, because it's all about the money. Right. The big wigs,
keep it cheap, make it over there. Keep it cheap, and we don't want to pay our own people. We don't want to give them.
What a slap in the face it is to the American citizen to say
they haven't figured it out.
My country believes I'm not worth the extra dollar.
Right.
That's a slap in the face, man.
Well, America, wake up, because and just speaking,
stand up.
And I know a little bit about Asia. I've traveled, and to rephrase what we're saying, Taiwan is not China. China's always tried to, just like they took over Tibet, and I say free Tibet. And I also say
that's right
about Hong Kong. Hey, let Hong Kong be Hong Kong, and all those protesters out there trying to fight for freedom, fight. But China, they want to take over the South China Sea. What they're doing is they're building artificial islands, and they take all this equipment, they build up these little islands, and there's maritime law in the South China Sea. If you are on an island that you own or that your country owns, and you land with your military there, it's 200 miles that you have. That's all yours. Now, the Philippines cannot challenge the Chinese military, neither can Vietnam and all these other countries. So, and let me tell you what's going on too. I don't know if you've been reading this. A lot of the America used to patrol over there. We're now with the Kobe. Everybody's sick. Everybody's, it's going crazy. And let me tell you, their plan's working. They're just full force, and they're laughing at us, man. They're laughing at us. And like you said, it's a slap on. People need to wake up here, guys. We used to make stuff. We used to make good stuff, and we used to get paid for it.
Now, when you make something in America, now. They charge you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, you can't even afford it. You can't afford it.
Buying something in America has become a privilege that you have to buy. And the reason it's so expensive is because
you got to pay
the federal government and the great wisdom of the regulations has made it so difficult for any American producer, any American entrepreneur, any enterprise that wants to move forward with any kind of new product.
Right.
They are literally raped right then and there and charge astronomical amount of money just to mount the business. By the time a business in America has established themselves, they're probably in a hole of debt just to cover all of the expenses to launch a business and to get out there and start selling their product. And what do they have to do? They have to overprice their product and say it was made in America, and like that's supposed to brainwash. It's supposed to brainwash me and make me feel like, oh, this is American. I gotta buy it. No, it's sad, and it's not. It's to the consumer. It's not fair to the consumer to be holding something that's made in China that's cheaper, and then holding something that's American and say made in America, and you're making $11 an hour. What do you think you're gonna buy? Maybe I want to buy American, but guess what? I can't afford that.
Doing my own research, there is certain things you can start a company here for $49. You can get a name. You have an idea, like you said. There's might be regulations depending on your tech, this and that. But the problem that I see the most, Leche, is that if you have to manufacture something here, we don't have we don't have the plants anymore. Number two, God knows who you have to talk to because everything's made in China. You have to fly somebody over there. You got to pay them to fly over there. You got to pay them to negotiate. You got to, by the time you're done, like you said, I do believe you'll probably be bankrupt. And if they don't like you, if they don't own a patent, if they don't get part of the patent, if
somebody doesn't buy you out.
Right. Somebody doesn't buy you out. If they still, because they steal a lot of patents, they steal a lot of intellectual properties, and sometimes they make it better. That's what's crazy. That's what I find there, I don't want to speak bad about all the Chinese people in the world. I'm sure there's some wonderful, very smart people, but the military and the human rights and the way things go over there, it's like, look, they have their own thing going, and it is a slap for the American worker. Like they sold you out. They sold you out, and they gave you some television, and they told you go to college, get a better degree, and then you can't buy a house. You have to go out, and if you can't get that job, I mean, I've taken a different route in my life because I didn't want to owe money. I didn't. I looked at all my choices, and I became, I wouldn't say a pirate, but definitely different kind of pioneer, I guess, and I did the best I could, but I didn't want to owe $100,000 for knowledge. For knowledge.
Why couldn't when we spend when the country can spend when the country can spend and create these stimulus influxes and put all this money into the economy, literally by going like this, by snapping their fingers, you don't think that they can have free education? Wouldn't you think that
education should
benefits
be
the nation? Education should be free.
free. It should
If you
be
could have
free.
it free in the public sector, under public schools, why couldn't you have it for free when it comes to university?
Right.
You don't think that the kids would be going to
Oh,
university?
I know.
You don't
They
think
want
you
to
would
be
be having a
motivated.
better, yeah,
Arts and
absolutely.
engineers and everything. It's
No, because education is another business.
That's all it is,
It's a
champ. That's all it
nasty,
is.
dirty little business.
Yeah, you
And
got to
it's all,
pay faculty, overpay them, and they got to pay for programs. And I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I get so lost. And that all I know is that the common American worker has been slapped in the face, and it's like you said, wake up. And I think what scares me the most is that, you tell me, Leche, I give myself till late August when some landlords start going and they're not going to listen to the federal law. They're not going to listen to the state law. They're going to go, listen, I got a kid that was born and maybe so they got some issues. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. You got to pay. And someone's going to say, well, the government said I don't have to pay you. And maybe they're broke too. And I don't know that you have weapons, it's going to be, that's when I told you I'm gonna lock down a little bit. I kid you not, because
the storm's coming.
The storm's coming in.
The rain of fire is coming down.
If somebody doesn't, I don't know. The funny part is Disney's gonna open, but is it gonna open to, Escape from Disney? With Kurt Russell coming in and freaking taking a bunch of freaking Musketeers. I don't know what's going to happen, champ, but I'm very, it's funny. I'm excited to see it, but
get ready for, there's two things that are going to happen. Either they are going to be transparent, highly doubtful about the numbers.
Highly. Yeah, they're not.
It is going to be, now the scales are going to tip, whereas before this was new. It was unprecedented. Nobody could have ever predicted this was going to happen.
Right.
And we have all these rising numbers and we have obviously all kinds of, casualties because of this. Number one. Then we have number two is that was the beginning. This is when they didn't know what was happening. Now, I get a feeling that with the opening up of the United States, everybody slowly, all the states are opening up. They're desperately trying to get the economy back. It's the only thing these people care about. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody, the American citizen. They just care about, you have literally the top 5% of the nation worried about their own investments.
Sure.
Now they're going to restart the economy again. And what are they going to start doing? Maybe they're going to start covering up the numbers of deaths, of casualties now. Now it's going to be the opposite. Before it was, let's showcase the casualties. Now, because they want to reopen the economy, now they're going to start hiding. They're going to start hiding.
Well, they'll just still buy, these corporations, the media corporations will just hide the numbers or change the numbers, and people believe it. They'll be like, well, we didn't have enough numbers and the data's a little wrong, but hey, Kim Kardashian just came out with a super butt plug and you're going to get it. And everybody will be texting about the A.K.A. butt plug. And let me tell you something,
Why don't we look at what America's trying to follow right now? Maybe to end it on a lighter note. What do you think?
It just makes your brain dead. I'll be honest with you. It's just such a mind wipe. It's a triple mind wipe to the point where even if people are told the truth, if Disney does work and reopens and gives free coupons for free turkey legs, they'll just bite the turkey legs and go, hey, That's what? I'm happy with that. I don't even know if they would be happy to work. I would hope so, maybe, but with an incentive like a good paycheck or some kind of decent health care, even better, about a pension where you can buy a house again, or it's just nuts. I don't get it. I'm so mind wiped.
Well, this is a good headline to read.
Tidbits.
From Yahoo.
Bits.
Yeah, titty bits. Here we go. A little bit of titty bits.
Ball bits too. Okay, for all you girls out there.
Miley Cyrus says she has no idea what coronavirus pandemic is really like due to her celebrity privilege. And it's very true.
I guess she's being honest in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
That's so scary that she's actually saying, I'm not experiencing. I live in a huge house. I get takeout all the time.
Yeah, I can respect her for that. And at the same time, this is exactly what the fuck we're talking about.
Well, she's got Billy Ray as a father. And let me tell you, Billy Ray was brought up tough. Don't break my heart, my achy, breaky, Kobe heart. Straight Kobe. We got to do. We're comedians, guys, and I will apologize again for anyone that has lost a family member. And we have to look at the irony of it too. And it's a horrible thing going on, but you also have to understand that there's things that are being covered up. And Miley Cyrus, like Leche said, she's telling the truth. How heavy is that? That's so heavy.
Here's another sad one. This is on these headlines. Ready? It says, use Zantac. You may get cash settlement in lawsuit.
Zantac?
No, it's saying use Zantac. You may get cash settlement.
Oh, is that a drug? I don't even know. Is that the allergies or something?
Yeah, it's one of those acid-reducing medications. You know, when you got that heartburn kicking after you just tore down a Big McRib.
Bring back the McRib.
Bring it back.
After those T-shirts. That's not a good idea, guys.
Unreal.
Not with Kobe.
Unreal.
Don't bring it back with Kobe around.
So go buy Xanax, and maybe since you're as poor as I am, maybe the best thing for us to do is to get in on the lawsuit wave, huh?
Well, let me tell you something. We're not poor in spirit. I'll tell you that. And if you guys really want to dig in, there's a little place I've been hiding. Okay, Nigeria. Good luck finding me. Yeah. I think, I don't know. You got any more titty?
Little titty bits?
Yeah,
last
one
titty
more.
Bit of the
One of the last night because we're coming up in our time. Yeah, we're coming up in our time.
Let's see what we have here.
The Nexus will be, the wormhole will be closing soon. You guys have been great. Thank you for putting up with us. And, you know, we're just speaking our mind. You know, freedom of speech. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen.
That's right. Talking to the common folk.
One thing that this country has
is Joe that's out there.
Every comedian, Richard Pryor, all my heroes, freedom of speech. Because they weren't from China. They weren't from Sweden, my friend. They weren't from freaking Iceland. My heroes are from here. And like I said, I love Richard Pryor. I got
Let's see what we have going on here.
Straight. We're working on the titty. T-I-D-Y. Titty bits. It's not what you guys think. We got ball bits too. For all you girls out there, we're kicking balls too.
Let's see what's going on, man. I mean, I'm reading things here left and right.
Go ahead. Just one more. That's all we need. And we're going to close out with one more titty bit if you can find one.
I'm trying to find a good one.
We had last time we looked at Disney had a Star Wars, and I was speaking to a colleague about the Skywalker backpacks.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't know if you guys know that, but there was a lot of, I'm sorry to say, there were overweight people in Disney wearing the you know, me hot.
Here's a good one. Let's just last one.
Last one.
All right. So we have Meghan Markle, that beautiful darling of a royal entity, and Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Prince Harry have reportedly been staying in an $18 million mansion while house hunting.
Oh my God!
Now, while America is suffering, while the common Joe is out there,
fighting the Kobe, man.
We're struggling.
Getting laid off, and
we are going through what we're going through, what the world is going through, and let's not even talk about this. Let's not even talk about this during COVID. Let's talk about this even if we were before COVID.
Sure.
$18 million mansion. And guess who owns it?
Who owns it?
You know it, Madea herself, old Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. I'll tell you what, Tyler, I'm glad you're rich, God. And I'm glad you made money, but that's a lot of money, and I don't want to think about it. I mean, look, she's a beautiful girl, but you know, I can't even say anything because it's such a slap in the face. Certain things that are going on with America, and I don't care. I'm very happy they bought a house, but I don't know how people are going to get back to work in the next couple of months.
Exactly. You don't think you could fucking stay at a Motel 6?
They can sell pictures. They can take pictures of their
the rest
butt
of
cheeks,
that money and
put their butt cheeks together and just call it, you know, buzzing buddies or something. I don't know. Whatever's going on is, let me tell you, I don't care.
The hell? Well, America might care. I think
most
people
live in Detroit,
read about this
you live in Detroit, my friend, and Flint, Michigan. That's the last thing you care about is.
Let's read. It goes on. It says, guess who introduced the new Californians to Tyler Perry? Because the royal family is moving to California. Sources say Oprah helped orchestrate the move while the couple was looking for an equally luxurious place of their own.
Let me tell you, they're gonna be. I'm gonna predict this. They're gonna be in Soul Sunday, and you're gonna have this one ready. This is Soul Sunday. Welcome, guys. Hello, bro. Thank you so much. Tally ho, bro. Thank you for the opportunity. So tell me, how do you like California? No. I totally believe that California is fucking amazing.
I think it's better because, you know, they got to sell it to you. I can't
do his accent. I don't even know.
Yeah, bro, you don't want to do that accent.
No, I don't think I can.
Ready? So it says, while their new place, what will their new place look like? America wants to know. Because all of struggling Americans that are, you know, force feeding themselves a fucking dollar menu every day are trying to figure out. They really want to know how is Meghan and Harry new place gonna look? Well, it says according to Meghan and Harry's design taste,
designers,
it will probably feature eco-friendly materials,
green,
a yoga room, and a big area for baby Archie to enjoy.
Sweet Archie, ready? This is a yoga room, Oprah, and I'm going to show you the yogurt room. Ready? We have yogurt over there.
After house hopping for almost a year, the royals must be ready to settle into something more permanent.
Well,
let me ask you a question. Who the fuck hunts for a house for almost a year? What do these fucking people do?
They're in another vibe and another wavelength.
What do these people do all day?
You know, I predict because he left his royal family, he's going to have a reality show. I will bet money.
Never going to, sitting in an $18 million mansion.
Yeah, give it a year. Ready? We are the ex-royals. Tally ho, Peter Pan, tally ho.
They'll give him a show in a heartbeat. They'll be America's new favorite couple, like fucking David Beckham and that other fucking Spice chick.
I'm ready. Honey, what are you doing? I believe those are Marco Polo pants in my head. Tally ho. Oh, stop it. I don't know, some funky music and little baby Archie starts crying. They're like,
unbelievable.
Oh, they'll hang out. They'll hang out with everybody. You know, everybody will come down. You know, the Kardashians, and everybody will be best friends with them. And then, you know, everybody will be politically correct. And you know, it's going to be an interesting show. And look, to me, it's just I don't know them. Who knows? Maybe she's a very nice person. Who knows? But all I can say is I don't understand how the media how is this important? This is crazy. You're going to have the next 2 months, people, 30 million Americans don't have jobs. They sure have weapons, okay? Yeah. And there's going to be landlords, and if these food doesn't, whatever's going on. Anyway, Leche, I think it's time to sign off because it's only going to get, the wormhole is going to get deeper. We're gonna get deeper in the wormhole. So
you know it.
Well, guys, any last thoughts, Leche, before we sign off from the wormhole, the Nexus wormhole?
A lot of milk.
A lot of milk. So, guys, this is my last thought. Be kind, be smart, and use critical thinking. And I don't know, stay positive. All right, guys. All right, America.
Stay positive, stay true to yourselves, and always look a little bit deeper, a little bit harder.
Look through the wormhole.
Look through the wormhole and dissolve.
Good night, guys.
You are in the Nexus Wormhole.
You are in the Nexus Wormhole with your host, Sonic Rascal.